let me at this point make the open the floor to questions from the press. Bob, if there you are. If you have questions for Bob specifically or for the group as a whole.
Yes, there are. I mean, who are they? You can find some of them on MSNBC. That's for sure. I had been called up and I had been asked if I was when the story first broke. I was called up by the Talking Points memo writer that was writing it and asked if I did write that memo. I said, indeed, I did. I said, does it have right principles on the top? Is that what you're looking at? And he said, yes. I said, yeah, that's the one I wrote. So you connected with FreedomWorks? No. You connected? He asked me 3 times, I think, and if I was connected with FreedomWorks. I said no. And I vaguely knew what FreedomWorks is. So that was the fact. And then they falsified what I wrote, and they captioned it, and it was picked up, and the quotes were moved around, and it's been smeared all over the airwaves. So you folks know where that's all appeared. Well, this is organic power. This is coast-to-coast organic power. I'm one person here in Connecticut I was trying to activate folks in Connecticut, but nobody has that kind of influence. My memo has gone around. I have no idea where it went to. But this is organic power. It's different. It's different from what our political establishment is accustomed to seeing. They're accustomed to top-down power. This is bottom-up power. And they're trying to control it, and they can't. The sand is shifting under their feet right now.
Any other questions? Yeah.
Do you feel that your movement has affected change the debate with freedom?
The proof will be in the pudding. I think we're underway. I think a lot of people believe we're doing the right things by aggressively questioning our representatives and doing so with persistence. And I would say we should continue to do that. But so often protests and a counter-argument arises and they're put down, and I don't think we should stop. I think this should continue because I think our representatives are very hard of hearing, and it takes a little bit of shouting and pushback, I think, to get their attention. We may be beginning to get their attention, but I think this should continue. I hear the voice of the people out there. It sounds good to me. Oh, they're not. They're used to dictation. Now we elect them. They go down to Washington, and something happens down there. We send them down with concerns and interests and maybe an agenda of issues from our communities. And what happens is they go down there, and then they turn around, and then it's all incoming towards us. They come back with their agenda. And I think the healthcare bill is not reform. That's healthcare transformation. And it was cooked up somewhere in caucus rooms down in Washington, and then it's being pushed forward, and they actually wanted to have that thing signed and passed by both houses before the August recess. I mean, my gripe is with the procedure on this. If they were going to do it appropriately, maybe they would hold some hearings down there and identify the 5 or 6 most important problems with the healthcare management, delivery, and payment system today in the United States. Hold some hearings with the interested partners, tee that thing up, and then craft some legislation around those problems, and maybe move that through the body. But the idea of a 1,000-page bill coming straight at us that's what people are objecting to. People see it, and I think this debate is about more than just health care. It's about that one-way dialogue that comes from Washington back towards us. So. Well, we're doing it now. I mean, that's what the town hall is supposed to be. continue to write. See if they change their modus operandi of sending you back a form letter. Thanks for your support when you've objected to what they're doing. We call all the time. Half the time the mailboxes are full and all the rest. But we have to keep pushing on that. There are avenues for redress, and I think the states should do a lot of that work as well and reclaim back for themselves the states' rights and get involved and not be cowed by the federal government. I mean, there have been stimulus, so-called stimulus money that carried with it obligations the states would have to carry on long after the money was gone, and some have objected to that. I would like to have seen more states object to that because it's just more federal encroachment. The Constitution's a limiting document. The whole Constitution is written about limiting the power of the federal government. They didn't even want to form a federal government, but they knew they had to. And that's a limiting document. And all we get is one way back from those folks. So keep it up. I hear the voice of the people and it sounds good to me. Sure. Oh, I've seen some lip service to it. Maybe the proof would be in the pudding. Now, if they were wise, they would stop this health care bill right now and go back and do it right. I don't know if they're going to do that. I'm hearing on the news that the Democrats are thinking maybe they have the votes to just go ahead. They'll really hear some voice if they take that tack. I think they see that there's a significant portion of the population that does not like a transformation of the healthcare industry in this country, and would rather go about it in a more measured way. So we'll see if they change their tack. We haven't seen yet. We're still in the middle of August and people being hurt.
Anyone else? Obviously, we're available if anyone you'd like to talk to individually. But thank you for coming out. Thank you all for coming out. It's a pleasure to have such a group of people.
Absolutely.